will explain you how we will conduct this interview. Okay.
Okay.
So we have this portal, and are you comfortable? Okay. Can we start with your brief technical introduction?
Yeah. So basically, I have 2 years of work experience as a React developer. So previous company was like a product-based company, which was a business intelligence tool. So I was a React developer, and I have worked on like many features on the dashboard part. So many features I can explain is auto chart suggestion, then code
Mhm.
compliance, GDPR. Before that,
Okay.
I was working in a startup company, so I worked for the client VR Vision. So there was a React developer and built the project from scratch.
Okay. So you have good experience with uh, building single page application on React, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you have good startup experience as well. Okay, good. So how about like how what about the like if I will ask you to rate yourself in React or JavaScript, what would be what you will give the rating to yourself in React? First you give in JavaScript, then React.
So out of five, I could give in React as 4,
Hmm.
3.5 to 4,
Okay,
and yeah, and JavaScript also I have good knowledge too. Like I
got it.
can make the code work. Yeah.
Okay, so you have good experience with JavaScript as well. Okay. How about in React, we have state management tools, right? Are you also comfortable with those
Yeah, I
like
have worked
Redux?
on. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
I have worked on Redux toolkit. So in
Uh-huh.
VR Vision project, we have basically used Redux toolkit only for the state management. Also, a little bit of used context APIs.
Context API, got it. Okay, so let me brief you about this interview. Okay, conduct this interview for front end role, right? And I will cover the technologies which I have mentioned, JavaScript fundamentals. Some questions will be around ES6 features and state management, right? And higher order component or performance optimization, right? In React, right?
Yeah,
And few questions will be around authentication and authorization as well, right? How
yeah,
application when we build a real-time application, we have to authorize the user and authenticate the user, right? Got it?
yeah.
So okay, so let's start with basics of JavaScript. Okay. So let me put few. Can you tell me what is JavaScript, definition of JavaScript, and what is the use case of it?
Yeah, so JavaScript is the programming language, single-threaded
Mhm.
programming language. This means each line of code works line by line and in synchronous fashion. So
Mhm.
JavaScript is a synchronous, single-threaded
Mhm.
programming language,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
use cases like before when JavaScript was developed, it was mainly used for the front end kind of thing or browser scripting kind of thing. But later on, with few advances, it started building page applications using React and other frameworks, and
Mhm.
also using Node.js and all. We used to build backend applications also.
Right. So for front end, as a front end developer, we used to manipulate the DOM, right? We have document object model, right? Do you know what is DOM? Can you explain what is DOM?
Yeah, so DOM is a kind of tree kind of structure where like HTML document is aligned in the form of tree kind of document. So
Uh-huh.
we have like virtual DOM and real DOM kind of things. So in real
Mhm.
DOM, what happens if we manipulate a single node or something,
Uh-huh.
so whole DOM will be updated or recalculated once again to repaint the DOM. But in virtual DOM, only necessary operations or calculations will take place to update the DOM.
Got it. So in JavaScript, we have uh, we define variables, right? Can you tell me how many ways we can define variable in JavaScript, and what are the difference in between those type of
Yeah,
variable
so
definition? Yeah.
three ways we can define variables in JavaScript. So first one is const, second
Mm-hmm,
one is let variable, and third one is var. So
mm-hmm,
var variable is a global or function scope. Uh,
mm-hmm.
Let is a blocked scoped variable, and a const is a function scoped or a global scope variable. So next comes is hoisting. So all the three variables
Could
are hoisted, but
uh,
does not give any error. But let and const give reference error due to uh, uh, they give reference error. And
got it. Yeah.
uh, uh,
So can you quickly explain me by giving one example? For example, if I will yeah, give me one example how hosting works.
okay. So in hoisting, what happens is we can use variables before defining that variables. So this is hoisting. But in case of var, if we hoist the var variable, it will not give any error. It will give undefined in place of that variable will not be filled with any value. So it will give undefined.
Okay. Okay. In JavaScript, we have closure, right? Can you explain what closure is and write one example of closure?
Yeah. So closure, any variable inside the function has access to the outer environment variables, outer environment functions. So this is closure.
Okay, got it. Can you write the example of closure? Yeah, you can write the example of closure quickly.
Yeah. So we have one function const. So in this we have, let's say, one variable where uh, a is equals to 20. Inside we have one another function access data. It will, let's say, function. It has access to this outer variable a also.
Okay,
We can return this
so
also.
right.
Yeah.
So how this will access the variable? Can you explain me in this example?
Sorry, what did you say?
Yeah, can you explain the closure here in by giving this example? In this example, how this closure functionality will work?
Yeah. So basically, this a has like this access data uh, has its own local environment, so it will consist of its own variables and own functions. uh, but when it does not find that variable inside that function, it will go to the outer function to check whether that function consists of that variable. Then it will access that. Then if it finds that variable, it will console dot it will print that variable value.
Okay. So basically you are saying once you run this here, data, right? Here you can define the here, right?
Yeah,
Data, right? So this function, right? You created Excel data. So you created two functions here. So this function has the access of lexical scope of this
yeah,
function, right? Right?
yeah.
Outer function, right? Scope of outer function, right? So that's how you can explain, right? When somebody asks about the closure, right? So internal function have the access of lexical scope of outer function, right?
Outer functions.
That that's
Okay.
how it yeah that's how it forms a closure, right? Okay. Okay. So let me put few other questions around. Okay. Do you know what is how event loop works in JavaScript? What is the use case of event loop?
Okay, so we have some asynchronous functions like file handling, or like API call is also there. So when event loop work is to check like callback queue, and callback queue and that RAM. If it checks if that works, if that callback queue is empty.
Mhm.
Every time it will
Yeah,
check if the callback queue is empty. If it is empty, then its task is to put that task into that callback queue and assign it to memory.
got it. So basically, see, JavaScript is synchronous, right? And
Yeah,
when we perform asynchronous operation, at that time, event loop comes to the picture, right? When we define like promises or we use async await, right? When we do asynchronous operation, that time these functionalities come into the picture. Can you explain me about promises? What are promises in JavaScript?
yeah. So promises are like for placeholder for some asynchronous operation. When this asynchronous operation will give some response, that promise will be filled with some value in place of undefined. So this is promise.
Okay, can you create a promise here?
Yeah. So promise uh, data is equals to, if we will fetch from some API,
Mhm.
uh, let's say any API we will be having, promise, then or we can do any operation on this.
Yeah, complete the logic for writing a promise.
Okay.
So you are using. Have you ever created any promise before?
Yeah, while doing like API call.
True, right. So whenever we do call a API, we use promises or async await, right? Async await. Do you know what is async await?
Async await. Yeah. So like uh, any asynchronous operation or function, before any asynchronous operation, we use to make that function asynchronous, and await makes the line to wait for the code to make a response. It will wait till the response is made and then move to the next line.
Got it. So, for example, if I ask you to call an API using promise, how will you do that?
Okay. mm, Response dot.
So you are fetching, okay, you are fetching using fetch, you are calling an API, okay, you are passing URL. How will you pass? Okay,
And that any, like, we can set that response in any of the state. Set state.
but this is your JSON response, right? So directly you can't set. First, you have to
Yeah.
complete the logic of fetch.
Yeah. So const res is equals to response dot JSON method, I think. In Axios, I think we don't need to convert it to JSON format.
Right, right, right. So do you know what is the advantage of using Axios over fetch? Like why we
So,
use Axios? Like any advantage or any difference, you know?
advantage is like like response comes as a JSON format only. So I don't know other
Okay,
examples.
no problem. You can read it, but see these kind of questions every interviewer will ask. Okay, like what
Yeah.
is the why we use Axios, right? What is the use case of what? How does it differ from Fetch, right? What is the advantage of using Axios, right? These kind
Mm-hmm.
of okay. So in JavaScript we have objects, right? Or we have different versions of JavaScript, right? There is a new version called ECMAScript, ES6, right?
Yeah.
ECMAScript 7, 6 or 5, or right? So, do you know what is ES6? And tell me a few features you know about ES6.
Yeah. So ECMAScript, we have like spread operator, rest operators. We
Mm-hmm,
have arrow functions.
mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, all these are ES6 features. Like it
Got it.
makes, yeah,
Have you heard about conditional rendering, ternary
yeah,
operator?
yeah,
Ternary operators are there, right? While we do conditional rendering, or we can do, uh, there are a lot of features in ES6 came up, right? So you can read about it. What are the ES6 features we came in JavaScript, right? Do you know what is the difference between arrow function and normal function? Any
yeah.
major
So
difference apart from syntax?
yeah, so like it when it comes to hoisting,
Mm-hmm,
uh, when it comes to hoisting, arrow function will be considered as just like a normal variable.
mm-hmm.
And but in a case of normal function, uh, if we uh, if we make a hosting of it, it will return whole function definition as it is.
Got it. Also, we do destructuring nowadays in most of the applications we write on top of React, right? Do you know what is object destructuring? And can
Yeah,
you write one example?
yeah, yeah. So we have, let's say, const uh, obj equal to name Kirti, and let's say we have address in that. This is also a string. So why is it giving error? So we can destructure it like this: const name, comma, address is equals to obj. So this is object destructuring.
Got it. Okay. So can you also explain what is shallow copy and deep copy of an object?
So in a shallow copy, we can only we can find destructure out like we have object here, so we can destructure all these elements, but we cannot if we have another object inside this object, so we cannot do that.
Okay.
uh,
Okay. Any other difference? For example, if I ask you to create a deep copy and shallow copy of an object, how will you create it? Can you give me one example and create one shallow copy and deep copy of it?
okay. Mm, let's say we have another object obj2. Inside this we have I'm not able to
No
like
problem. Yeah,
right now.
that's fine. But you can read about it, like make a note of it. I will share the question as well after the interview, but you can read
Yeah.
about it, okay? How we can destructure it, how we can make a shallow copy, how we can make a deep copy, right? These are the
Mhm.
object related question you have to prepare about it, okay? And okay, let me put few questions. Do you know how to merge two objects? How many ways you know?
Okay, so to merge these objects,
Uh-huh,
we can use this like spread operator.
uh-huh,
So, like we have const obj3
uh-huh,
um, equals to obj1 comma obj2. So, oh, sorry. This will merge both the objects, and as we can assign it to another variable.
got it. Yeah. Also, do you know what is template literal in ES6?
Yeah. So in a template literal we have uh, we have variable let a equals to, this is a string, like we can say hello, and let data, then let we have variable d, inside
Uh-huh.
that we have another word string, so we can, and after console log of, this will give hello world.
Okay. Correct. So I put another question here. Kirti, can you read the problem statement? So basically, you have to give write a function that will take an input as an array and send you the output like Gmail and Yahoo. So these are the array manipulation things. Okay, string manipulation over array, right? So how will you achieve it? Try writing a function and achieve this output. Okay, so this is your input, right? I want you to write a function which will give you this output. Okay,
Okay.
got it? Yeah,
Okay,
try
so
writing.
after at the rate kind of thing, we have to okay, only we have to find Gmail and Yahoo and put that in array.
Yeah,
So like we can do is for wait, less than or dot length. We can take j is equals to 0, j less than or of I length, j plus plus. Inside it, we have to traverse each and every character. So if
Kitty, you are going, I think, in wrong direction. I think you don't have to do for loop and all. Do you know any uh, map? So this is an array, right? So
yeah,
for array we have different methods, right? Like
mm-hmm,
map, filter, reduce, right? So
yeah,
using map, you can reiterate over these strings. So this array is a string of array, right?
yeah,
Array of string, sorry. Okay. Then you only find the Gmail, right? So your approach should be correct, right? Because you are ultimately making an array, right? So map will give you an array, right?
yeah,
This can be a solution. It might give you the solution, but yeah, complete the solution first. Try to find the solution, then I will let you know the better way. Okay?
yeah. If
Complete the logic, whatever you are trying to complete it.
if like we have to take each and every character,
Mhm.
and if it gives at the rate, after that at the rate we have to mm, uh, I think map thing will be correct for it. Like it will take each and every element.
Mhm. Yeah, complete the logic. Then you can run it also, right?
Yeah,
First, you have to write a function. You are directly writing the
yeah.
for loop, right? Create a function because you have to pass this array as a input, right?
Okay, okay.
And then you have to get the output. Yeah.
So we have const return domain names. Nine domain names, names, and will take array as an input, const uh, equals to map. It will take each and every item. In that item, we have some array dot split, I think. Item dot split by at the rate.
Okay, you can practice it
Split.
later. How? Yeah, you can do it, but you have to practice it around a string manipulation. There are multiple methods, right? So you have to basically split by two times, right? One is by dot, one is by at the rate, right? Then you will
Yeah.
achieve it for by finding this. So you can find the solution using anything, but uh, practice it on string manipulation, right? And array manipulation, right? Uh, so I'm good with JavaScript and ES6, right? I think let's move towards React part. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let me. So can you tell me what is React and what is the advantage of using React?
Yeah, so React is a library for making single page applications using
Mhm,
like it is a JavaScript library. So
mhm,
like features is it has virtual DOM. It
mhm.
has component based, like we can make components to build the whole application. Like and like data flow is unidirectional. So using virtual DOM, like it makes very easy to recalculate the changes. If any
Mhm.
changes are found, with the help of diffing algorithm, what happens is like if any change occur in any state or props, the virtual DOM is created. It is compared. A newer version is compared with the previous version of the virtual DOM, and the changes are then made to the real DOM with the help of reconciliation algorithm.
Got it. So yeah, you explained me about virtual DOM, right? So okay. Do you know what is the use case of React? Like what we build using React? What kind of application we are building using React?
So like we have large applications, and we have to
Have you
make
heard
that.
about
Yeah.
okay? Have you heard about single page applications?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell me how does it differ from other applications? Single page application? What is the
Yeah.
difference between single page application and normal web applications?
So in normal web application, what happens is when any user interaction or when any changes happen, whole of the page is refreshed or reload, or all the recalculations are done. But in single application, only that part is will be changed, which is manipulated by the user.
Got it. Yeah. So in React, we have props and state. Can you tell me what is props and what is state in React?
Yeah, so like when we have to pass data from any parent component to child component, we
Uh-huh,
use like props. These are properties actually. So
uh-huh.
it has shorthands for properties to pass the
Uh-huh.
data from parent component to child component.
Got it. Yeah. How about state?
Okay, so whenever when we want any variable to make changes in that particular variable, so for
Uh-huh.
that purpose we use state.
Got it. So yeah. So I want you to quickly write down how will you pass a prop and how will you make a update a state.
Okay, so we have in this like we have some another component, parent component.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You can create the component here only. That's fine.
Okay, we have some parent component or a child component, we can say. In that component, it will return div. Inside this div we will call the app component, and in props like we have to pass some message. Let's say hello.
Yeah.
So in this we can restructure this props and
Uh-huh.
could render it. So this is a prop kind of thing. Let's say
And how will
and
you
for
make a
state,
update? State. Yeah. Go ahead.
yes, we have like we have one but input kind of thing. In this handle change function we have value equal to, we have to create one state to hold that value. Const data set data use state, and with the help of function it will take that event. So set data goes to e.
Right, Kirti. So you are handling data. Okay. So okay, can you explain me what are hooks in React?
So hooks are normal like functions which return some value to perform some actions. So we have like use state
Okay.
hook, use effect hook,
Okay.
and
Okay.
use ref hook,
Uh-huh.
uh, use selector hook, use
Uh-huh.
dispatch hook, use navigate hook.
Uh-huh.
All these hooks are used. Use
Uh-huh.
memo hook, use callback hook.
Uh-huh. Okay, got it. So hooks are functions, pre-built function given by React, right? If somebody asks you what are hooks, right? How many hooks you use, right? So you can explain this way. Hooks are a pre-built function given by React, which perform operations like performing side effect, right? updating a state or something, right? For example, we have a use state, right? We are updating a state for that, right? For
Mm-hmm.
use effect, we are using use effect to update a side effect, right? Perform a side effect, right? So side effect, so do you know how many lifecycle methods it can perform? Previously, we were using the class weight component, right? That
Mm-hmm.
time we were using different component lifecycle method, right? So do you know using use effect how many lifecycle methods it can perform?
So, like it has three life cycle methods. It is component
Mm-hmm,
mounting, component
mm-hmm,
updating, and component
mm-hmm.
unmounting.
Got
So,
it.
with the help of a dependency array, we can
Mm-hmm.
decide like which life cycle part we have to perform.
Got it. Can you quickly write down the logic here for use effect? And I want you to call an API and show the data on UI. Okay. I'm giving you some data. Okay. So
Okay.
that kind of data you are getting from the API, you have to show that data on UI quickly. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Quickly create the logic for using use effect. Handle change, you can remove it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we
Write that logic here.
okay. Use effect. In this, we have to pass empty dependency array as we have to call it when the component mounts. So, if we have like Axios, or we can make a function call, asynchronous function call, like call API, and inside like const asynchronous, sorry, const call API equals to, it is a function. You can do Axios dot um, like we have to, can I use like
Okay, that's
Axios?
fine. Yeah, you already written the logic for calling an API. I want you to just complete the either Axios or Fetch. Just complete the logic so that I can assist you around some authentication and authorization, right?
Yeah. So
So, for example, your API is authenticated only, like it's secured API. Okay. uh, with the token, you have to every time you call an API or get the data, you have to give the authorization token to the backend, right? So write the logic accordingly. How will you make a call from an authenticated API or secured API?
so like in this we will get response. In this response, uh, like we in this response we will get token, and that token will be like
Mhm.
first it will be res equals to response json. In that we will get const token equals to response dot token, and we will somehow get some details also of the user. So this token will be stored in some session storage or local storage. So this is kind of authentication kind of thing, and if user is authenticated, if
Uh-huh.
we get a response from this API,
Uh-huh.
this means that user is a legitimate user, and
Uh-huh.
he is authenticated and he has access to that particular application,
Uh-huh.
so we
Okay.
can navigate
So,
him to a dashboard
mm,
page.
right. So how will you handle errors here inside this API?
So we have catch, we will get some error. Inside the error we can show some like set some error state and show some snack bar to in the UI kind of thing.
Got it. So if API is authenticated, you have to pass a authorized token. How will you pass a header of authorized token, authorization
uh,
token, bearer token?
so in headers like we have in headers that token will be passed if like
Right. So how will you pass those headers here? For example, have you seen ever like when we call an API, right? At that time, backend required to pass a header called content type application JSON, right? If
yeah,
that is not present, the API will give you the error 500 error, right?
yeah,
Also, we have to pass our authorization token as a bearer token, right? Because of we are doing authentication using Google Auth or any third party authentication, right?
yeah. So like
So how
I
will you
am not
pass headers here? Okay. Do you
not
know it?
able to memorize that, but I know
Okay.
like it is passed in headers and
Right. Right. Yeah.
authenticated first.
Understand. Yeah. 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 Practice it like how we can pass because you will get lot of a mock API over many websites are there which gives you mock API, right? Authenticated API where you can learn the authentication. Do you know what is the difference between authorization and authentication?
Yeah, so authentication just check if the user is valid valid or not. But in authorization, like we have different roles, like we have admin, we have user. So like admin will have some different access or different responsibilities in the application. User will be
Uh-huh.
having some different access. So authorization perform like which kind of actions could be performed by which type of user. So this is authorization.
Okay. Uh, what about authentication?
Authentication, like just we have checked if this user is valid or not,
Okay, okay. So
and the
basically, we put
authorization.
some restriction over user. See, for authorization, we restrict user to like access the uh, what you can say. Like we put some boundaries that user, for example, you have an admin access, then you will have the whole access of your application, right? When you have a only
Mhm.
editor access or user access, then you only can have some modules which you can access. Otherwise you don't have the
Mhm.
complete access to delete the data or access the data of it, right? So that is the
Mhm.
real time scenario I have told you, okay? But you can work on the authorization authentication, right? How we can do it. Have you heard about JWT?
Yeah, it is a JSON web token. So
Mm,
from
right.
backend, we get some encrypted token, which consists of encrypted data of user or any encrypted kind of thing. We can uh, take that as token, and for
Mm-hmm,
authentication purpose, like we will
mm-hmm,
when user is authenticated, we will get
mm-hmm,
that JWT token, and we
mm-hmm.
can store that in session storage or local storage, anything.
Got it. So for example, this API gives you this kind of data. Okay, Kirti? This is the data I'm giving you. Okay. You don't know how much data it is coming from the API. I just given you the example kind of data, right? This kind of data you are getting array of object. Okay. I want you to uh, I want you to show create a UI here. okay, for showing this kind of data. From the API you are getting, you already set the data. For example, you created the state here, right? You set the
Yeah.
data here, right? And you have to show this data to UI on front end, right? But the challenge
Okay.
here is only you have to show the data which have the X section ID of objective endpoint. Okay, so data can be more like which don't have the objective and section ID of objective endpoint. Okay, so you can only have to show the data which have the section ID of
Section ID.
objective endpoint. Okay, section ID is objective endpoint. Okay, so quickly write down the logic for it and uh,
Okay.
write the if so the data on front end.
So, like we have const filtered data
Mhm,
equals to we have to filter this data.
mhm,
mm, some item,
mhm,
so it will return if item dot section id is equals to
mhm,
objective endpoints,
mhm.
and we can use this filtered data to render in the UI.
Okay. Do you know what is conditional rendering? How do we achieve the conditional rendering here?
Okay, so where in
Yeah,
any, okay,
you
let's say
can
we have,
yeah, yeah.
one paragraph. Uh, let's say we have to show if filtered data dot length, if we have length
Mhm.
in the array, we have to show like conditional rendering or any kind of thing.
Mhm.
Conditional rendering.
Okay. Do you know what
Then,
is higher order component, Kirti, in React?
okay, so higher order component is a component which takes some component as an argument. It is a kind of
Mhm.
function which takes another component as an argument and returns returns some another component by performing operations on that component.
Got it. Okay. Can you give me one example of higher order component here?
Okay, so like we have const like we have display message.
Do you know what is the use case of creating higher order components?
Okay, so like we have some function, we have some component which always want authentication to be done before performing some operations. So we can pass that as an higher order component, and
Uh-huh.
like reusability kind of thing, we use higher
Right.
order components.
Exactly. So we use custom modes, we use higher order component for the term called reusability, right? So that we
Yeah.
can reuse again and again. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So I'm putting another question here around performance optimization. Okay. So in React, we when we build any application, right? What are the
Mhm.
techniques you know how to optimize the performance of your React application?
Okay, so to achieve performance optimization, we can use lazy loading. So lazy
Mhm,
loading uh, allows uh, the code or component to be rendered only when it is needed. So this is a lazy loading. Then we can use code splitting kind of thing, like in
mhm,
before company, there was a major task like all of micro front end kind of thing. So all the
mhm,
whole application was splitted into multiple applications and combined or bundled into one. So code splitting uh, can be used to optimize the performance of the application. Then we can use memo hooks, use callback hooks to perform use memo will give some optimized value or memoized value if it performs some heavy operation. So it will give memoized value. Then use
mhm.
callback hook will only it will give some memoized function.
Okay.
So it
So
will be used.
can you give me one example of lazy loading? How will you lazy load a component? So see, if someone asks you what is the performance optimization technique, or what are the techniques to optimize your React front-end application, right? Then you can first you tell me the list of techniques, for example, using lazy loading, using code splitting, using memoization, right? Using reusability concept, right? Single responsibility concept, right? There are a lot of things you can do, right? For optimize the performance. You can use for reusability, you can use custom hooks, you can use higher order component, right? And
Mhm.
for that you can use lazy loading, right? Code splitting, right? These kind of things you can answer like that, and then you can give me the you can give the example of those. For example, if I ask you how will you write a lazy load, how will you perform a lazy loading in your in your project, right? Then you have to write the example of it. Do you know how do we lazy load a component or route
Yeah. So
dynamically?
uh, we have some component
Uh-huh,
importing.
uh-huh.
Just a minute. Import,
Can you just tell me how what things need to be imported here?
like we have to import a lazy function from React, and
Uh-huh.
after that before importing the component, we have to wrap that component inside the lazy function.
Got it. Also, we need to use uh, what you can say,
Suspense and fallback.
suspense, react suspense, right? Suspense, react suspense, and fallback. Inside that, we have a fallback, right? Without that, we can't perform lazy loading, right? So these kind of concept you can uh, brush up, like what is lazy loading, what how we can create a higher order component, right? And do you know what is a controlled component in React?
Okay, so control components are the components in which we use some events to hand like uh, uh, like for event handling we use state hook,
Mhm.
and we do not perform direct DOM manipulation. So these are uncontrolled events.
Okay, okay, got it. Do you know we have a prof drilling, right, in React? So, what is prof drilling? Can you explain me?
So like we have a whole application built in some hierarchical form. Like we have parent, inside that we have some child, inside another child. So a whole application is created. So to uh, access some variable or properties from the parent component, we have to pass it through each and every component, each and every
Uh-huh,
child component. So this is called as
uh-huh.
prop drilling.
Okay. So how do we prevent it?
So we have to prevent prop drilling, we have Redux
State
state
management tool.
management tool. Yeah.
Mhm.
So in that we create
Up.
one store at the application level. Uh,
Mhm.
so store is basically one object. So how Redux works is when user interacts with application, one action
Mhm.
is uh,
Mhm.
dispatched with some the action is dispatched to the reducer. Reducer is a
Mhm.
function which takes the state and action
Mhm.
as an argument, performs some
Mhm.
operations, and returns the new
Mhm.
state. And that state will be again stored in the application
Okay, so
store.
you are good experience. You have good experience with the Redux toolkit.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you know how do we decide which either we should use go with the state management tool or we can use context API also, right? So how will you decide it?
Okay. So like we have some bigger application. For bigger applications, we can use Redux. But if we have smaller applications, uh, for that purpose, context API is good.
Got it. Apart from Redux, have you heard about any other application which is useful for state management?
No, I have used only two, Redux and context API.
Okay, but you know nowadays
Mobile is
just
also
an
used, right?
Movex, yeah, Movex and Just10. Nowadays, Just10 is very popular. People are using Just10, right? So also very less configuration and very lightweight library for state management, right? So these kind of things you can practice it. So somebody will ask you ki how we can just write the basic logic of Redux or how will you implement a Redux in your CRUD application, right? The
Okay.
basic uh, structure of it. Okay. So you can or with the just end also, right? Depend on the expertise they are asking for. Either in company, if they are using Redux in their sorry, if they are using just in current project, right, then they will ask you around question around those just end or some other tool like Jotai or something, right? So you can explore other tools as well. Uh, okay. Uh, do you have any other question? I'm good with my all technical questions, right? Katie, if you have any doubt or question, you can ask me and I will consult you or I will help you explain you about the feedback or your improvement on the
Yeah.
code
So,
and all.
what improvements and like what is the feedback about the interview?
Okay. Okay. So I will write down the feedback, detailed feedback on each rubric or technology I asked, all the questions and I asked you around. Okay. And verbally, I can tell you few things like you can work on more coding part. Like first you like building more front end application, like you can create more mock kind of application, right? And nowadays we have uh, a lot of AI application are there, right? V0 or something, right? Practice on there, like how we can create a complex UI, right? Or front end, right? Using state management or for performance or for theory wise, I would say you can improve your quality of answers. For example, if somebody asks you what are hooks, right? You should know first. You tell them the definition of that hooks and then give the example, right? Don't jump to the like random answering, right? It's reduce the quality of your answer, right? So first you listen the interviewer what is they are asking, then start answering step by step what they asked. For example, I asked you what are hooks and how many hooks you know, right? Then you can give the answer like hooks are uh, what you can say hooks are pre-built function given by React, right, which perform side effect, which can perform different functionality to update the component and all, right. Or memoization, right, just like use callback and use memo, right. Also learn about more hooks like we have React version 19 coming up, right? So there we have new features like React Portal, right? And there are other tools also there, right? React Query, and build more React application, more large scale application, so that you will get more practice or hands on React, right? And build higher and use on daily basis. Like I'm saying ki you can use memo, use callback in your daily day to day work, right? Or if you are using any Redux or something statement management tool, that is also good. Yeah. And I will add on the detailed feedback and consultation in your report that you will get on your email. Anything else, Kirti,
No, no.
I can help you with? Okay. Yeah, and I will write down the feedback on each rubric, that so that you can read the report and you will get the clear picture of how you can improve, right? Also work on your communication, where you don't get fear when you have the less confidence over any topic or technology, then you will get nervousness, right? If you have a
Yeah,
good exposure or good knowledge over it, then you can uh, explain confidently, right? That is a
yeah.
good thing. Yeah.
Okay. Also, I
Thank you
have
for
to
your
ask,
time, Keith. Yeah. Yeah. Tell me.
like, if I have some gap due to personal reasons in the career, so how would I cope with it?
You have a career gap. I would say if you have a good technical knowledge, right? Few companies are not asking for the like if you have a valid reason, right? They won't ask you for anything, right? If you have a
Okay.
experience letter, proper salary slip, they won't. There will be no challenge in the market or something, right? If you have a good exposure, if you crack the interview, if you are able to answer the questions of like interviewer asking, if you are capable for that job, they will hire you definitely. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
cool. Yeah, don't worry about it. Thank you. Thank you for your
Thanks.
time. You may drop off the call, and sorry about the extending this interview for a few minutes. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. You may drop off the call.